Sports presents ABC's College Football. Today, a crucial matchup in the ACC between the Tigers of Clemson and the 15th-ranked Cavaliers of Virginia. It's cold, it's overcast, it's football weather here in Charlottesville, Virginia. And the Cavaliers take the field in front of 40,000 in Scott Stadium. On and off the field. Here's the action in other ACC games today. NC State leading Duke late. Florida State big over Wake Forest, and North Carolina in a tough non-conference battle with Louisville. And this is why this game is so important. Virginia and Clemson right behind the Seminoles and the Tar Heels. They are tied for third and, of course, are playing for a bowl berth. Hi again, everyone. I'm Terry Gannon, along with my partner, Tim Brandt. The Cavaliers still have a realistic shot of finishing second in the ACC, while Clemson, Timmy, started off losing 3 of their first 5 games, but they've won 3 in a row, and this is always a heated matchup.
Oh, Terry, this has turned into a terrific rivalry here in the last several years. In the 90s, you've got everything you could ask for here. Sellout crowd, 2 teams fighting for bowls, 2 of the top 3 running backs in the Atlantic Coast Conference, Raymond Priester and Tiki Barber. But, folks, make no mistake about it. The guy that they love here in Charlottesville is Tiki Barber. Oh, the Virginia fans love him. The pro scouts love him. Opponents hate him. He's a Heisman Trophy candidate. He's gone for over 1,000 yards the last 2 years. He's got great balance. Never gives himself up for a tackle. Can even high-five the official. He is special. He has to have a big day here this afternoon for Virginia.
He's rushed for over 3,000 yards in his career. No one stopped him yet. We'll see if it happens today on the field. The Tigers and the Cavaliers in a big ACC matchup will have the kick when we come back to Charlottesville. We're getting set for Clemson and Virginia. We take you down to the field to the third member of our crew, Lewis Johnson. Lewis?
Thanks, Terry. You know, I talked to both coaches before the game. Tommy West is really concerned about winning the turnover game today. He said, you know, Virginia's been great at creating turnovers and then putting points on the board afterwards. They want to stay out of that trap. Now, George Wells, so stoic, quiet, didn't have a lot to say, but he did make a comment about the windy conditions today. Notice the top of the stadium, the flags are blowing back and forth, showing you how gusty it is. He says they'll try to take advantage of that in the passing and the kicking game, depending on where the ball is positioned. Terry?
Lewis, the wind gusting 10 to 15 miles per hour, a temperature of about 50 degrees. It's already affected strategy here. Clemson won the toss. They defer to the second half. So Matt Padgett, the freshman out of Newberry, South Carolina, will get us underway. Terrence Wilkins and Thomas Jones back deep for the Cavaliers. And it's Wilkins at his own 2-yard line. Looks for room up the middle, gets out to about the 23-yard line. The stop made by Damon Ward, a defensive back for the Tigers. Well, it's been an up-and-down season. Most of the down came early on for Clemson, and they've won 3 in a row. Virginia, on the other hand, won 4 in a row to start the year. Their only losses to Georgia Tech and to Florida State. And here is the man who leads the way. Tim Sherman, over 1,000 yards in the air. But, Timmy, 4 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. And that's not a stat that you want as a QB.
He's been very inconsistent, and at times that has hurt the Cavaliers. They need consistency out of him today.
Medley and Barber out of the eye. And Owen in motion to the near side. Here he is. Tiki Barber straight up the middle, bounces off of 1 tackler. Gets ahead for about 2. Raymond White made the tackle. The Chile starting lineups, the offensive backs and receivers. Some talented wideouts, but make no mistake about it, number 21 the key.
Yeah, there's a good look at Tiki Barber, too. You know, he's an All-American type guy, inside, outside, power type with speed. He's gone back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. He carries the load. He makes the difference. And if you look at the guys up front, there's Jeremy Raley, and it's 35 consecutive starts. He's the leader for that big offensive line. They are big, too.
The #1 rushing team in the ACC on 2nd and 8, and there are flags. I believe the Tigers were offside. Looked like Brett Williams, the senior out of Albany, Georgia, was drawn. And Michael Dover and his crew today. Look at the Clemson defensive front. They had 8 sacks against the Maryland Terrapins in their last game, probably their best game of the year. And Simmons is one of the quickest linebackers you're going to see.
Anthony's outstanding, the leading tackler in the conference. He's a semifinalist for the National Defensive Player of the Year, the Bronco Nagurski Award. That'll tell you about him. And if you look in the secondary, Andy Ford starts today. He's the most solid, experienced guy back there. He gets everybody in the right positions.
After the penalty, 2nd and 3. Tiki Barber comes back to the near side, no room. And caught behind the line of scrimmage and dumped to the Scott Stadium turf. Well, something's got to give. Virginia over 200 yards on the ground. Clemson has played very well, especially as of late, against the run. The defensive front getting better and better as the year has gone on.
Now, that definitely will be the confrontation. You can see the mismatches in there and what's going to take place as far as the statistics go. But I'm going to tell you this, folks. Clemson is 16-4 in the month of November in the 90s under Tommy West. And I'm going to tell you, under Tommy West, they're 6-1. And Virginia, quite frankly, is 5-5 in the month of November and has struggled.
3 wide out set now on 3rd down and 3. Out of the shotgun is Sherman. Out to Barber, wide open. And Sherman overthrew him. Boy, he was wide open in the flat, and it looked like he would have a first down if that ball hits him in the numbers.
And that's the inconsistency you get with Tim Sherman. There's no question he's poised. He's a smart guy. He checks are always right, but he just is not consistent. It doesn't throw well. And now they get to the best part of the game, the Virginia kicking game.
Lewis Johnson told us about Tommy West's concerns. The Virginia kicking game is great. 3rd in the nation is Bryce, and Rafael Garcia leads the ACC. 13 out of 16 field goals this year. This one, a low line drive punt, and it heads out at the 32-yard line, a punt of 38 yards.
Terry, you talk about the kicking game, and I say it's the most important part of the attack today for both clubs because this is going to be a game of field position.
Well, Nealon Green, a lot of pressure on his shoulders whenever Clemson takes the field. They have a heck of a running game, but he's got to go to the air today some, and especially early, over 1,000 yards, but 6 interceptions. And he's got the bad shoulder, which he injured against Georgia Tech, had to come out of the last game in the 3rd quarter.
It's his left shoulder, though, non-throwing arm, and he's a tough guy.
They throw on 1st down. Kenya Crooks with a great catch, but he's popped at the 37-yard line by Joe Rowe. And the chilly starting lineups for Clemson, the offensive backs and receivers, a big backfield, but not great speed. Raymond Priester, number 3 rusher in the ACC, but he's a fullback type runner.
Yeah, he averages over 5 yards a carry. Tough to get a shoulder on you, and then he slides. He's that kind of runner, good feet, good balance, but he's got a fullback's body. Then you look at the big offensive line, and folks, this is one of the biggest offensive lines in the conference. They average over 290 pounds. Roundtree is the biggest. 2nd and 5, Priester fights his way, and he's got a Clemson first down. He was hit as he crossed the line of scrimmage, but he get the big legs moving, and they'll move the chains. The defensive front for Virginia, they're deep at the tackle spot, and 2 of the ACC's best linebackers in Ferrier and Sharper. Yeah, and you look at Ashman right there. I call him the detonator. Boy, this guy's got 21 career sacks, 6 last week.
The secondary, 11 interceptions between them, and they will hit you.
Rondé Barber, one of the top cornerbacks in the country, 1st-round draft pick, just waiting for April. Outstanding. The brother, of course, of Tiki.
Quick out, complete to Joe Woods. He's got some room now, knocked down at the 46, maybe the 47-yard line. Stephen Phelan made the stop along with Joe Rowe. Only 87 yards per game. The Virginia defense 9th in NCAA in terms of that stat, but only 3rd in the ACC. This is a league of great defenses this year.
And Terry, as you look at these statistics, you have to be brutal and say the truth that Clemson has faced UNC's defense, Florida State's defense, and now Virginia's defense never has done well against the top-ranked defenses. Don't score many points. 2nd down and 7 on the 46-yard line. Priester hit and now dropped right about the line of scrimmage. He may have fallen ahead for a gain of 1, and for the first time today, let's get an update from John Saunders in New York. John, what do you have?
Terry, perhaps a very big upset. Michigan against Purdue. Jim Coletto, he's resigning effective the end of this season. Rick Tresker does a nice job scrambling, then finds Brian Alford for the touchdown. The point after was blocked, but Purdue gets the ball back because of an interception. Florida, meanwhile, in a battle with Vanderbilt. We'll keep you up to date. Right back to you, Terry.
Thanks, John. 2 surprises there. 3rd down and 7 on the 46. Green hit as he throws. Complete at the 50-yard line, now dropped. We'll see how they call it. Incomplete. Brian Wofford had it for a moment. Rondé Barber stuck him there.
Never got his feet to the ground. Good call by the official. Brian Wofford went up, and what he tried to do in midair is stretch past the chains. Couldn't get there, and then the ball came loose.
And Tiki Barber, one of the best return men in all of college football, back at his own 15, had an 82-yard run back a week ago, called back because of a block in the back. That was against the Duke Blue Devils. And a punt away from Kevin Laird. And Barber hit at the 27-yard line. So the Cavaliers will take over at their own 27. A punt of 37 and a return of 8 by Barber. 10:46 here in the first.
Michigan still has Rose Bowl dreams, but Penn State is ready to wake them up and knock them off. It's game 1 of a college football doubleheader next Saturday on ABC.
And after that game in this region, you can see Virginia take on number 8 North Carolina. That'll be a huge game. You've got Leon Johnson against Tiki Barber and a battle for maybe number 2 in the ACC.
Yeah, I don't think Virginia's worried about that right now. They've got to take care of business today, and they've got all they can handle with Clemson.
The Cavaliers take over 1st and 10 at the 27-yard line. Medley and Barber out of the eye. Owen to the near side in motion. Sherman dropped the football. It's on the ground. And the Tigers think they have it. We'll wait and see.
What a turn of events. It's been Virginia that's made a living off turnovers all year. And now Clemson all of a sudden comes up with one. Talking about a game of field position. This is the first major break, and Clemson's got it.
A huge break for the Tigers at the 27-yard line. Raymond White came up with it, and Sherman never had it.
Yeah, I don't think Sherman ever did have it. Watch, he's got it there, but I think the pulling guard just knocked it right out of his hands before he could turn on the pitch to Barber. So it was his own guy that knocked it out of his hands. He didn't have a good grip on the ball.
So Clemson takes over at the 27. The crowd on its feet now. 40,000 here at Scott Stadium. And we'll see if the Tigers can capitalize on their first break of the game. Priester to the left side. Tries to get outside and knocked out of bounds after a gain of 2, maybe 3. Anthony Poindexter, the strong safety, made the initial hit. And let's go down to Lewis Johnson on the field. Lewis?
Guys, you talked about Nealon Green and that sore left shoulder that he has. I tell you what, I talked to him before the game. He said he feels good. They've got him stuffed with a bunch of stuff like this up under the pad. But let me tell you something. Some of the other trainers said that if he gets hit in that shoulder, he may be out of the game. He's hurting really.
But you know, the coaches told us that if he gets hit in the elbow, it hurts more than it does on the shoulder. That's how he's injured at both times. He's hit the elbow and jammed it up into the shoulder.
Billy Lucky, a redshirt freshman, is his backup. Green rolls out, nowhere to go. Down at the 34-yard line, there's a late flag as Wally Rayner blitzed and made the sack.
Now the first concern obviously is to see what happens to Nealon Green, because he does hit that left arm. Then the flag comes in and we'll see what happens there. I believe it's going to be against Virginia. But they came up the middle. The linebacker Rainier did, and he got him. Then here comes the hit on the left shoulder, and that's the flag, using his helmet as a weapon right into that left shoulder. So that personal foul will give Clemson great field position in the first down.
And Timmy, the two things that Tommy West really worried about, the penalties, mistakes, and turnovers going against Virginia right now. It's the Cavaliers who have made them work in their favor all year long.
Terry, I thought that would give them enough for the first, and I believe it does.
It does. So it's 1st and 10 inside the 20. We'll call it the 18-yard line. Kelton Dunnigan, now the fullback, ahead of Priester. It's Dunnigan with the carry down inside to about the 15-yard line. Jamie Sharper, the grad student out of Richmond, Virginia, in on the stop.
That's a great changeup. You come in with Dunnigan. He's got different size. He's smaller. And then, of course, you've got Sharper trying to come up and make the tackle. And, folks, he is an outstanding linebacker, the leading tackler, ACC Defensive Player of the Week this past week after 13 tackles and a sack. A fumble recovery against Duke, but Dunnigan gives him a tremendous change up there. He's a smaller presence, but a little bit faster.
And Emery Smith has a sore shoulder as well. We'll keep an eye on that throughout the game. 2nd down and 7 at the 15. Priester straight up the gut to the end zone. Touchdown, Clemson. 15-yard touchdown run, and the Tigers are on the board. They brought a lot of folks with them from Clemson, South Carolina.
Take a look at the end zone. Watch number 3, Poindexter. They cheat him up. He's the safety. They use him like a linebacker, but he gets caught up in all the mess. So once you get past this point into the secondary, there is absolutely nobody there because Poindexter, the safety, was being used like a linebacker and got cut off.
Matt Patchett on for the extra point. Splits the upright. So the critical turnover early by the Cavaliers as the Tigers take over and then score on this 15-yard run by Priester. They're up by a touchdown here in the first. College football on ABC Sports brought to you by Ford and your local Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? The NASDAQ stock market. Valvoline. The #1 choice of America's top mechanics. People who know use Valvoline, and the NASDAQ stock market, and Nike as well. A lot of people sponsoring us today here in Charlottesville. 9:33 left in the first quarter. That, Tim Brandt, was the first touchdown by the Tigers in the last 3 games. Last 2 years
against Virginia.
The Virginia Cavaliers have held the Tigers without a touchdown. That's the first one.
You know, and if you look at the scoring drive, 4 plays, 27 yards, obviously set up by the turnover from Sherman. But what's impressive about that is the fact that this has been Clemson dominating in this series. Won the first 29 games, and then Clemson has struggled against them in the 90s.
Terrence Wilkins at his own 6-yard line to the near side. And down at the 22. Well, the 15-yard personal foul certainly helping the Clemson Tigers get to the end zone. As you look at some of the scores, Florida in a battle with Vanderbilt late in that game. And West Virginia up big.
2 series.
Over Rutgers, that now a final.
2 series for Virginia. They have yet to get Tiki Barber going and get him untracked. They were 3 plays and punt, then they turned it over.
So first down at the 22, Sherman with room, and now that closes quickly, and he goes to the slide at the 25. Well, Tim Sherman, a big key to today's game. You know that Virginia Cavaliers are going to run the football with Tiki Barber, but certainly you and I not the only people who know that. Clemson knows that as well. So if Sherman can go to the air with some success early on in this one, that'll open things up for Barber.
You know, remember that Tiki Barber is also an outstanding receiver. He's got 15 catches on the year. Was wide open that last play. Sherman just decided to run it and tuck it away because he saw the opening in the middle.
3 receivers set. Tiki Barber the only back in the backfield. To the near side, caught at the 36-yard line. Brian Owen with the catch. And that's a Cavalier first down. The junior out of Camp Hill, Pennsylvania's 14th catch of the year.
Have to be encouraged by this. Sherman threw it well, and look at the route run by Owen. This is a junior, 175 pounds. That's only his 14th catch of the year, but he knew where the sticks were. The ball was well thrown. It was waiting for him after the break. That is a nice rhythm play.
So a gain of 10. They move the chains. The ball now on the 35-yard line. Walt Derrick, the big tight end, comes and sets to the near side. And Jermaine Crowell goes in motion far side. Here comes Tiki Barber. Cuts back up to the 39-yard line and may have made something out of nothing. A gain of about 3. And for an update on that Purdue game, let's go back to John Saunders in New York. John?
But Tim, Michigan, or rather Terry, Michigan was trying to drive one last time. Scott Dreisbach back to pass. He is picked off. The 5th Michigan turnover of the game. Jamal Coleman gets that one. And Purdue runs out the clock. They win it 9-3. Terry.
John's so excited he called me Tim.
No, he knew where he was going.
I understand. Wow.
He's right.
What a game. 2nd and 6. Sherman flushed out of the pocket. On the run. Throws. He's got his big tight end open. Crawford at the 35-yard line. Casey Crawford, his first catch of the year for the redshirt freshman out of Falls Church, Virginia, and a gain of 26.
Boy, if you're Clemson, you got to be scratching your head defensively and say, wait a minute, where's Tiki Barber? He didn't run it. Now they go to their tight end. Tight ends, do they ever throw to him? Yeah, 7 times this year. That's it. And Crawford hadn't had one all year until here. He just slipped behind 29, Peter Ford, because like Ford, I mean, the rest of the defense has to be thinking they're not going to throw to the tight end. They never do. But they did, and they moved the chains.
Well, early on this year, Tim Sherman had trouble throwing deep. And it's been one of those things. He's been inconsistent. He's had big games. He's had big yardage games. Had 253 yards against Duke a week ago. That's a career high. Goes to the air for Crowell this time. And through his hands, he had a chance to catch that.
Well, I tell you, that's great defense, though, by Peter Ford. He got right in his hip pocket and played him inside out. Used the sideline. Watch this. You cannot play defensive corner any better than this. You run with him, do a little karaoke. Now you slide out. Here you come. Now you look back. His eyes look back. Your eyes look back. You just play him inside out. That is perfectly done. Using the sidelines, too. You know he can't go outside very far. That's good coverage. But you're right, he could have caught it.
And a ball that was thrown in the only spot that he could catch it.
It was well thrown. And if you're looking at Crowell, you got to say, well, you got to make that catch. But he was well defended.
And it would have been a tough catch. Barber cuts back and now tripped up at the 30-yard line. But you get an idea of Tiki Barber. It looks like he stopped right at the line of scrimmage, and he has that extra gear, that one little spurt, and he gets ahead for about 4 or 5.
You also get a sense of what Clemson's doing. They're saying, all right, we're going to shut down Tiki Barber. I mean, he's struggling today. He's got 11 yards, and that's it on 4 carries. What they're saying is, if we're going to lose, we're going to make Tim Sherman beat us. We're going to make him throw to his tight ends. We're going to make him go to Crowell.
But even with teams loading up 8 and 9 in the box, they haven't been able to stop Tiki Barber this year.
Well, big third down play here.
3rd and 5 out of the shotgun with 4 receivers in there. And they blow it dead.
Too much time.
Clock ran out.
Now they're going to move Virginia back, and there's another mental mistake by the Cavaliers. Actually, they moved before the clock expired.
Well, Monday night, you get a look at Barry Sanders and the Detroit Lions as they travel to San Diego and take on the Chargers. ABC's NFL Monday Night Football at 9 Eastern, right here on ABC. So it's 3rd and 10 now, and the ball resting on the 35. Crowell in motion to the near side. And again, out of the shotgun is Sherman. Steps up. Throws. Crowell sidesteps a man inside the 25 and down to the 20-yard line. He's got a Cavalier first down and a gain of 15. Timmy, he came into the game with 22 catches on the year. Every catch was for a first down or a touchdown.
Yeah, but you know what? That's a good point because he's a junior, he's experienced, and look who he's working against. Number 12 is a freshman. Doesn't break down, lunges at him, misses the tackle. Otherwise, it's not a first down. Finally, DeMarco Fox, number 12, the nickel guy, finally makes the tackle, but it's too late. They've already moved the sticks. He got the first down. That's an experienced junior against a freshman.
Sherman 3 of 5 for 51 yards on the day. Tiki Barber right up the middle. Fights his way to about the 16-yard line. Gain of about 3 on the play.
You know, I would think that is one of the toughest things to teach a cornerback is how to break down and come up under control to make the tackle rather than coming up flying up there without any control and lunging at a guy and missing.
Some of the other scores, the top 10. Arizona State trying to go to the Rose Bowl.
Ohio State still unbeaten with a big win today, headed toward that Rose Bowl against Arizona State. Jake the Snake Plummer.
He's a good one, isn't he? Up top to Crowell. There's some contact and broken up. Dexter McLeon was there, and the crowd wants a flag.
You know, I think if I would throw a flag on it, first of all, it's a good no call. Leave the flag in your pocket. But if you were going to throw it on anybody, it would be on Crowell, the offensive guy. Now watch him reach over. All right, there's the contact. They move. Now you got inside out. Actually, they're both bumping and grinding.
McLeon had the left arm out, and Crowell hit it away with his right arm. Take a look.
So they say they're both battling, both going for the ball, no flag. That's a lot of contact.
Yeah. Crowell 6'4", 201 pounds, so he's a big wideout from Winston-Salem, North Carolina. But a big third down here. He'll swing pass out to Barber, and it's behind him. He can't hold on. That's the second time that Sherman has gone to Tiki Barber. The first pass was not well thrown at all. This one a little bit behind Tiki.
And he missed him 2 other times on the same play, and there's not a linebacker picking up Tiki Barber. So I guarantee you they will go back to that until somebody picks him up or until it works and they get good yardage. I mean, he's been out there.
Even if he's one-on-one with a linebacker, you like your chances if you're George Welsh. So it brings on Rafael Garcia, the senior out of Danville, Virginia, 13 out of 16 on the year, and a 33-yard try. Plenty of leg and inside the right upright.
Boy, with him, you can almost put it in the bank. He has made 28 of his last 33 field goals now.
The #1 scorer in Virginia history. And now it is time for our Marriott moment. This has been a heck of a rivalry in the 90s, but before that, Clemson had won 29 straight games. The streak ended in 90. Herman Moore grabs this touchdown pass, 20-7 the final, and the Cavaliers have their first win over the Tigers. Of course, Moore going on to an outstanding career with the Detroit Lions.
Boy, he sure has. And you mentioned what it's done now in the 90s. You know, in 92, Clemson won it 29-28. 93, Clemson 23-14. And 94 was 9-6. Virginia won again. Last year, Virginia won. So it really has developed into a terrific rivalry.
And Virginia winning 3 games in the 90s, losing 2, tying 1, and they've played well as of late in some great games. But it's hard to believe that the Tigers won 29 straight games up to that point.
It's like Penn State against Maryland. I mean, it used to be just a gimme. Penn State always won. It's still a gimme that they always win.
Even in your days? Garcia with a kick 1 yard deep. Woods brings it back. And a nice return out to the 29-yard line for Joe Woods. Well, ACC action here. Of course, a lot of action around the country in football. The SEC today, Florida in a tough one against Vanderbilt in the 4th. Kentucky with the 3-point lead over Mississippi State. Auburn trailing in the 3rd. And the other games going on as well. The SEC East. Florida, of course, undefeated ahead of Tennessee. South Carolina right behind there in the West. Alabama, LSU, that's tonight on ESPN. Both at 4-1, and that game's at LSU. That's going to be a great one. Joe Woods with room up the near sideline. And out to the 48-yard line. A big gain on first down for the Tigers.
So far, you have to really like what Clemson's doing offensively. I mean, they are going after their strengths and trying to attack Virginia, which is a very aggressive team, and let Virginia run themselves out of the play and then go against that aggressive pursuit, which they did this time with a little misdirection.
18-yard gain for Woods, the senior out of Union, South Carolina. Of course, he's the transfer from Ole Miss.
All right, Terry, you were just looking at the SEC standings. Florida up on top, unbeaten. SEC, ACC, who do you like? Florida, Florida State.
I gotta like the Gators at this point. That offense of Florida State out of sync for the first half of the year. Quick out, complete, across midfield, and down to about the 47-yard line. I think that offense of Steve Spurrier, as it always is so high-powered. I think they have the edge. Of course, #1 team in the country. It'll be against #3. Ohio State ranked 2nd in the country. How about you?
I really think Florida State's going to upset them.
Do you really?
Yes, I do.
2nd down and 5 at the 47-yard line. Priester not going to go anywhere. Right at the 50-yard line, Jamie Sharper. And the speed of Sharper from his outside linebacker spot. Boy, you saw it there. He got to Priester as soon as he got the football.
Sharper, of course, one of 11 semifinalists for the Butkus Award. Take a look at him, number 33. He comes through untouched, unaccounted for. They overloaded, outnumbered him. It's a numbers game. They put more guys in the box on that side than there were Clemson players. Everybody couldn't be accounted for. Nobody picked him up. He came through freely and made the stop. That's an easy one for a linebacker. Boy, he's a great player, though.
#2 tackler in Virginia history. 3rd and 7. Out of the shotgun, Green, the quick out to Woods. Nope, at the 48, Rondé Barber played it perfectly, and Woods wasn't going to get by him.
They went with the flanker screen one time. Now they go to the opposite side, just try to do the real quick out and try to get one-on-one situation with Woods. But look who he's working against. He's working against one of the best corners in the country, 19, Rondé Barber. He is tough to beat one-on-one. There is a guy that does break down, comes under control, and makes sure he has the tackle.
So Tiki Barber back at his own 14-yard line, awaiting the punt of Kevin Laird. His 2nd of the day. And the fair catch off his shoulder pad, and it's loose inside the 5. And the Tigers have it inside the 5 at the 2-yard line.
Do you believe it?
Virginia has made a living all year with turnovers. They make everybody turn the ball over to them. But today, 2 turnovers, and it sets up another Clemson opportunity. And this one from Tiki Barber, one of the most protective guys of the football in the country. This one, he tried to catch too high. It hit on his shoulder pad plate, his chest plate. He could not get it under control. Great opportunity again for the Tigers.
And not to offer any excuses for Tiki Barber, but remember the wind. It is gusting up to 15 miles per hour, and that's the direction in which it's blowing.
Oh, I don't know, though. It looked like he had control of it. He just tried to field it too high on his shoulder pads.
So it's 1st and goal. They mark it at the 1-yard line. Full backfield. Right at the line of scrimmage. They're not going to get there. You see Priester signaling for a touchdown, but Emery Smith could not get to the goal line.
You know, I'm a big believer when you get it down that close, inside the 1, don't even risk a handoff. Don't wait for a play to develop. Let the quarterback sneak it, take it right behind those big old butts of Trimble and Butler and Roundtree, and don't waste time. All right, here's the snap. 1001. You're going to give it to the fullback. Of course, you're going with a guy that's 245 pounds. He's going to try to jam it up in there, but he didn't get it. So just come back and go with the quarterback sneak and go under everybody.
Now you've got Dunnigan, Priester, and Sam Zanders, a freshman out of Arlington, Virginia. Green's going to keep it. Did he get there?
He's got to be in. He's got to be in.
Virginia saying no. And, of course, the Tigers saying yes, and it's a touchdown.
Absolutely. Look at Tommy West. He's like me. He said the guy crossed the line.
Yeah, Tommy couldn't believe it wasn't signaled right away.
I couldn't believe it wasn't signaled right away. Boy, that's a good push, though. You've got Butler, Trimble, and Roundtree up front. That's 290, 260, 290. And then you've got Nealon Green. He's a 200-pounder, but he doesn't have to be a push guy. He just has to get on those big old guys and just hold on to their butts and follow them into the end zone.
Has it on for the extra point. And it's good. So 2 big mistakes by the Cavaliers, leading to 2 touchdowns for the Clemson Tigers.
You know, Virginia had forced 28 turnovers this season, 2nd in the nation. Only Wyoming has more, but the Cavaliers turned those 28 turnovers into 106 points. So they come in here in a big game against Clemson, both teams fighting for bowls, and Tiki Barber puts it on the ground once, Tim Sherman puts it on the ground the other time.
And make no mistake, this is a big game in the ACC race. Both of these teams in 3rd place. There you have a look at where the ACC teams can go. The 1st place team, Florida State, will go to an Alliance Bowl. 2nd place team in the ACC going to the Gator Bowl. Unless North Carolina wins out, they do have a shot at that other at-large Alliance bid. 3rd place team going to the Peach, and the 4th place to the Carquest. After that, you have an Independence Bowl that has an open bid, and you could see another ACC team there. And the other scores today, 2 finals. NC State big over Duke. Duke's still winless on the season. And Florida State big over Wake Forest. The Carolina game in the 3rd against Louisville, a non-conference game. And there are the standings as you look at them. Of course, Virginia right behind North Carolina, and the Heels come calling next week right here in Scott Stadium. Magic's kickoff. Wilkins, that is 3. Out to the 25-yard line, and the Cavaliers will try to take care of the football this time.
Well, and Tiki Barber right now is struggling. He hadn't been able to get off with his running game. He's got 5 carries, just 15 yards. He's been open a couple times as a receiver. They have not been able to get the ball to him. He dropped it once. Then he goes back to field a punt. He drops that one and puts it on the 1-yard line. So right now, to be honest, the Heisman Trophy candidate is struggling a little bit. Very uncharacteristic of a great player and a quality guy.
Trying to break the ACC record for consecutive 100-yard games in a regular season game. He's got 8 in a row, going for 9. Don McCauley, the man who last did that. Play action, Sherman with a lot of time. Up top to Owen, he's double covered, but makes the catch at the 37. The ball was loose, but he was already on the ground. McLeon and Ford were there, but he just outjumped him. And a gain of 41 on the play.
First of all, Sherman had tons of time. Now you watch the route that Owen runs, and it's just a post pattern. Now Sherman starts to scramble, and you can see Owen adjust and start to move with him. And now he comes back for the football, and between the cornerback and the safety goes up and gets it. That's a heck of a play by Brian Owen, his 15th reception of the year.
So after the 41-yard gain from the 34. Had time now. Sherman goes down. Adrian Dingle from his inside linebacker spot in there in a hurry. Dingle, the sophomore of Holly Hill, South Carolina.
First sack of the day as you look at Dingle. This is a club that's had 30 sacks. Now watch at the end of the play previous to this where Owen was. See the ball stripped out of there? So what happened was, now you've got Ford coming back and say, wait a minute, ref, that's a fumble. But the official called it correctly and said, no, he was already down. His knees ruled him down before the ball came loose.
Second 11 after the sack. Sherman overthrows the receiver, and this one's almost picked off. Owen was there. And so was Peter Ford. He almost had his third interception of the year. And now the heavens have opened up. And what was an overcast day now is a rainy day.
Well, we had plenty of rain yesterday. The field is already a little bit soft from the rain yesterday, although it is prescription turf. And, you know, it looks like there's something hard mixed in. That might be a little bit of sleet, maybe a little snow.
Well, it's cold enough for sleet and snow. Believe me, it was 51 degrees earlier, and I think the temperature's been dropping throughout the day. Third down and 11 to quick out to Brian Owen. And he has a Cavalier first down at the 22-yard line. And they've really worked this side of the field, challenging Peter Ford.
You know, Tim Sherman now starting to get in rhythm, too. He looks more confident when he's playing, when he's throwing. You see, he just kind of steps right up into it. He's now 5 for 10 after a shaky start. This ball's right where it has to be, and just enough for the first down. So I think if you can build his confidence, he's a smart enough guy and a confident enough guy where he'll play well.
And now the rain, sleet, snow, whatever it is, eases up just a bit. Tiki Barber hits his own man, bounces outside, can't get there, though. Brought down right at the line of scrimmage by Mond Wilson, the inside linebacker out of Tupelo, Mississippi. Well, this is a league this year, Timmy, which has been dominated by defenses. No one's really stopped Tiki Barber, but when you look at the linebackers and Simmons and Wilson and Dingle for Clemson, Ferrier and Sharper for Virginia, the Florida State defense, obviously, North Carolina, Georgia Tech with a couple of great linebackers. One of the top defenses in the country right here in the ACC. Second and 10. Draw to Barber and brought down at the 22. It's been a tough day to this point for Tiki Barber. Raymond White brought him down, but he's struggled, including the one fumble which led to a Clemson touchdown. Two big mistakes by the Cavaliers here in the first quarter, and as it closes out, the Tigers with a 14-3 lead here in Charlottesville. The Cavalier, his team, not faring so well as we open up the second quarter. Virginia trailing Clemson 14-3, and the two turnovers the key to the first quarter in the game so far. Virginia with 3rd and 9 at the 21, and Tim Sherman operating out of the shotgun, a 3-receiver set. Rolls to the near side. Looks up top. Crowell in the end zone. Batted. And incomplete. Wow. He almost had it. And then it was almost picked off, and he almost got it back.
Almost 3 people had it.
Well, not a bad idea, and something that Virginia has done this year. And Crowell 6'4", so they throw it up and let him go get it.
It's what they used to do with Sean and Herman Moore. It's just a jump ball type pass. I think what's interesting about this play is that Tiki Barber wasn't even in the lineup for the 3rd down. Now here you go. There's the tip once, there's the twice, almost picked off, and then boom, try to get it out. Almost made the catch. Crowell's a good-looking receiver. You know that?
Reminds you a little bit of Herman Moore. Rafael Garcia on for the 39-yard field goal. He's hit one today. This time he hooks it. And you don't see that happen very often. He was 14 out of 17, but he hooks this one, and things are still bad for the Cavaliers. Back in Charlottesville, 14-3. Clemson in the lead. Tim, if you talk to most of the experts, they expected Virginia to come out, play awfully well in this game. But you expected a good game from the get-go.
Yeah, I really did expect a good ball game, and I think that it's still going to be a good ball game. I think Virginia's going to come back and make this thing really interesting. But you can see what Clemson has done in its possessions, and they've been short possessions. I mean, Virginia's given them great field position.
On first down, Kelton Dunnigan, the senior out of Sumter, South Carolina, straight ahead for a couple.
I don't care who you play on this level of competition in college football. If you turn the ball over and give them great field position like that in the red zone, I mean, it's like running downhill. You just shorten the field that much, and you can't play competitive ball game when the field's that short. So the bottom line is don't turn it over.
And one of the keys for Clemson all year has been confidence. They were beaten 45-0 by the Heels in the first game. Their confidence was low. They lost to Missouri. Then they got it rolling. They've won 3 in a row, and right now you give them a little spark here on the road and confidence, and they're going to be in it throughout.
See, there is the problem. Nealon Green is not a good passer, and he's got to hit his first couple of passes to build his confidence in his passing game, or otherwise it's like a shooter. You've seen those guys.
Yeah.
Miss your first couple the rest of the night, you might as well put it in the tank. Or you make the first few, then the guy's in a zone.
Or some guys keep shooting the rest of the night whether they've made any or not, which has to be the attitude and the confidence that you play with. A big third down coming up, though. 3rd and 6 at the 25. Green out of the shotgun. They don't snap the football, and there was movement and there was contact. And we'll allow the officials to sort it out.
While they work on that, we'll tell you that Nealon Green did have a good passing game against Virginia last year. He was 19 of 36 for 213 yards, but he did have 2 interceptions. I think Clemson moved too early.
No.
Oh, it was defense.
Michael Dover's microphone not working.
Offsides against Virginia. And so the Cavaliers with 2 fumbles in the first quarter, a couple of penalties in the first quarter, a missed field goal here in the second quarter, now another penalty. They're killing themselves.
Yep. And last week against Duke, in a 27-3 win, George Wells not happy at all about the penalties. They had 12 penalties a week ago and 4 turnovers. And they revisit that once again here. 3rd and 2 now. And a first down for Raymond Priester up at the 35-yard line. So after the penalty, the Tigers gaining the first down on 3rd and 2. Well, next Saturday at noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, number 14 Penn State takes on Michigan in a Big Ten battle. And then after that at 3:30 Eastern, 2:30 Central. If you're in this region you're watching, you get number 8 North Carolina against these Virginia Cavaliers. That'll be a huge one in the ACC. Those are the other games that are available on pay-per-view. Call your local cable operator for those games. Joe Woods on the little reverse, trying to get outside. He's not going to get there. Brought down at the 37. John Harris just did get a hold of the jersey of Joe Woods.
That is great hustle by 98 John Harris. Here's a guy who is 6'8", 280 pounds, and he's chasing down little Joe Woods, who's 5'9", 160. Now what they try to do is they try to run a play where everybody would just follow the motion and then bring Woods back around the other side. Harris wanted none of it and chased him down from the back. Terrific play.
Well,
the big guy can run.
Ran that earlier in the game, and he got about 16 yards on it. So Harris going to school. 2nd and 6. Green play action. Had time, now steps up and gets up to about the 44-yard line. Has to get to the 45 for the first down. Dwayne Ashman, the defensive end out of Silver Spring, Maryland, made the stop.
Well, the more I see Nealon Green, the more I appreciate what he does. You know, he sprained his left shoulder, the same one he injured against Georgia Tech this week. Didn't practice much. Never lets you know that he's in pain, though. I mean, he's played with it all year. I remember September 28th against Wake Forest. He was 6 of 7 playing with a bad knee. He couldn't even practice the next week, then played against Florida State. Just a tough kid, tough quarterback.
Dunnigan and Priester out of the eye. On 3rd and 1, Raymond Priester straight ahead, has a first down, still up. Inside the 40 to the 38. And if he broke one more tackle, he was to the end zone.
You know, Priester ought to get up and walk over to number 3, Kenya Crooks, and say, if you throw a block, we've got 6 more points on the board. Kenya Crooks still standing around, never did leave his feet. And it was his guy that was in front of him that made the tackle. Watch number 27, Priester. First, he finds the crease. Now watch. He'll break a tackle, little arm tackle there. Now watch Crooks, number 3, come into the screen. Misses the block, doesn't even try to throw one. And that cost him a touchdown.
It was Joe Rowe who made the tackle, but a gain of 18. And Priester now with 45 yards on 7 carries. And a first down at the 38. Quick out, complete. Justin Watts not going anywhere. Right at the line of scrimmage by a host of tacklers. Davey Sharper was there first. Watts, the freshman out of Florence, South Carolina, and one of the reasons he's getting so much time, the suspension to Tony Horn, who is the leading receiver on this team. He was suspended October 24th.
Navy beats Delaware for its 6th win of the year. Boy, that's going to be some Army-Navy game this year. Playing for the Commander-in-Chief trophy. Virginia right now, Terry, they're playing 8-man front, sometimes 9, with Poindexter cheating up to stop Clemson's run game, forcing Green to try to throw.
They offset the eye on 2nd and 9. On the roll is Green. Has a man, Woods overthrows Joe Woods, and he was just waving his arms. He was wide open. Rondé Barber was there on the coverage, but he got there late.
Amazing that Virginia came up and almost said to Nealon Green, hey, we're going to stop the run. We're putting everybody up here on the line. You're going to have to throw the ball this time and beat us with that. It's like a challenge for Green.
Don't forget, at the conclusion of today's game, we will select the Chevrolet Most Valuable Player of the game from each team. To date, Chevrolet has awarded nearly $6 million to the scholarship funds of America's colleges and universities. Green throws it back. Sam Sanders can't get outside. And brought down at the 35. Dylan Taylor, the backup inside linebacker, made the hit. So that'll bring up 4th and about 6 or 7.
So the punting team will come on for Clemson, but Terry, what a great place to run a fake punt. The thing is, though, if you're defense for Virginia, you've got to be thinking that the possibility exists. I've got Poindexter.
He's up. He's about
the up man
at the 25, guarding
he's
against the fake.
Right.
Exactly. Tiki Barber is deep at his own 10. Laird's going to punt it away. This is a pretty good one if they can down it, and they do inside the 5, down at about the 3-yard line. A punt of 33 yards. Tony DeSue caught it inside the 5. And so the Cavaliers will have to work 98 yards if they're going to get to the end zone on their next drive. College football on ABC Sports, brought to you by Chevrolet Trucks, the most dependable, longest lasting trucks on the road. And Burger King, where you can get your burger's worth. Well, the rain has stopped here in Charlottesville. This is a prescription athletic turf. They replaced the artificial turf last year. So much different look and surface. It drains well, but Timmy, it was very soggy before the game after the rains yesterday.
Wet and soft.
And it may affect what takes place here after these rains. They brought it out to the 4. That's where Clemson down the football, and on first down, the Wahoos get across the 5 to the 6-yard line.
Terry, how about this for a statistic? Now, we talked about 2 of the top 3 running backs in the ACC in this ball game. Right now, Tiki Barber, 7 carries, 16 yards. Raymond Priester, 7 carries, 45 yards. So Priester has the advantage early on.
I think that's the story, Timmy, and the 2 turnovers. The story of this game to this point. And the Cavaliers with a chance on their last drive, but Rafael Garcia missed a 39-yard field goal. Sherman with time. Throws and complete at the 18-yard line. A heck of a catch after the bobble. It's Brian Owen on the catch, and he was well defended. Peter Ford was right behind him, timed it perfectly, but Owen held on.
Brian Owen having a pretty good game. That's his 3rd reception. Now watch this. It's Owen who blocks out the defender on that side, Ford. Peter Ford can't get around. It's good coverage. His timing is good, but he can't get around near the ball without interfering. So Owen did a nice job positioning himself, and that was actually his 4th catch.
4th catch of the afternoon.
Having a big day.
And Owen came in with 13 catches on the year. The former walk-on from Camp Hill, Pennsylvania. Tiki Barber cuts back upfield to the 23. Stopped right there. On first down, Anthony Simmons made the stop.
Well, I tell you what, you just have the feeling that he is going to break one of these things loose. Jingle joints with power. He is just a special running back. 5'10", 195 pounds, although the pros list him only at 5'8½".
Jingle what?
Jingle joints, man. Watch the way he goes through those holes. He goes through holes that aren't even there. It's a magician.
Haven't been many holes today. 5 yards on that carry. That's his longest carry of the day. So Clemson doing exactly what they wanted to do defensively. Putting 8 men up front, trying to stop Tiki Barber. Play action. One-on-one. Crowell at the 40-yard line with the catch. Inside the 30 to the 28. He worked on Dexter McCleon. And Sherman hit him up the far sideline. A gain of 48.
That's going against your best against the best. McCleon, the best cover guy, against Crowell, the best receiver, the leading receiver for the Cavaliers. But there's a mismatch. Crowell is 6'4". McCleon's just 5'9½". So they put the ball high. Crowell gets it, and he has been on a tear. He has 12 receptions for 213 yards in the last 2 games. He has been hot.
And Sherman with great numbers so far for him. 164 yards. First down at the 29. Barber ahead. Tough running for him. Gets inside the 25 to the 24. Raymond White, the junior out of Clinton, Mississippi, made the stop. But everything that Tiki Barber is getting today, he's paying for it.
Yeah, Barber should get the same type of recognition and publicity that guys like Hans Part and Warwick Dunn and Troy Davis get. I mean, he's as good as those guys. That's the type of running back he is.
Leading rusher in the ACC.
And I'd love to see him get his 100 yards today, to get that record. 9 straight 100-yard games. Jump ahead of Don McCauley, a guy that I helped get some 100-yard games.
Of course, it's 10 overall if you count the ball game. And down goes Sherman in a hurry. Anthony Simmons just smacked him to the turf. Wow. A loss of 8 after the sack, and he came on the blitz. Nobody touched it.
Well, again, they outnumbered the blockers. Watch this. He just goes around number 63, Trevor Britton, because Britton tried to get Wilson. And then he comes untouched. That's one of the defensive players of the year. Watch what he does. Watch number 41. He'll go to his left. He'll go behind Britton and just lays the sack on him.
Second sack of the afternoon for the Tigers. And it brings up 3rd and 12 now. Crowell in motion, but Sherman wants a timeout.
Boy, Clemson linebackers are either blitzers or droppers. I mean, pass rush or cover guys. And they both need speed. And Wilson and Simmons, the linebackers, do have speed.
The Cavaliers call timeout. Will step aside as well. Back in Charlottesville, 14-3. Clemson to 3rd and 12 coming up. And Timmy, any surprises at this point? I guess Tiki Barber, the way they've shut him down, the biggest.
Biggest surprise, not only Tiki Barber, but the way that they have turned the ball over. Virginia has protected the ball well all year. They have not done it today.
3rd and 12 at the 31. And Sherman's going to operate out of the shotgun. 3 receivers, Crowell to the near side. As the lights are on here at Scott Stadium. And Sherman on the turf. And the football loose. I think he got it back, though. That was Simmons in there again after the sack he had a moment ago. He put the initial pressure along with Tony Planton.
You know, he's got 7 sacks on the year. Just watch 41 again. He looks and he sees now the quarterback Sherman is in trouble, so he reacts that way. Rather than get back into pass coverage, he decides, hey, I'm a blitz guy. I'm going after the football, and Simmons did. Came into the game with 10 tackles for losses, 5 sacks. He's got 2 here today. Averages 15 tackles per game. One of the best linebackers in the nation.
So Bryce, his punt takes a Clemson bounce outside the 10. Could have been much worse for the Tigers, but they'll take over at their own 11-yard line after the 23-yard punt. Well, it's a battle in the SEC tonight, and the winner on the fast track to the SEC West title, Alabama taking on LSU. That's at LSU at 7:30 Eastern, only on ESPN, and it's special under the lights in Baton Rouge. That should be a heck of a ball game.
It's just a great place to play football. Death Valley down there, they just love their football.
Cajun football.
It's an obsession.
From the 11, Priester fights his way out to the 15, and 3 or 4 Cavaliers met him there. Wally Rayner met him first, along with Anthony Poindexter.
Raymond Priester having a big afternoon. When you go back through the annals and you look at the running backs in Clemson history, this guy that you'll see come right up in here and go one-on-one with Rayner 44, and look, he starts pushing the pile. I mean, the guy's 230 pounds, but when you go back and you look at the all-time rushing leaders in Clemson, he ranks right up there with Kenny Flowers and Terry Allen, who's having a great year with the Redskins.
Having a heck of a year, you're right. Some big backs in Clemson history. A lot of time for Green. Throws this one complete but out of bounds, so it's incomplete. Woods actually caught the ball, I believe.
He did, but that was a dangerous pass. Fortunately, he threw it close enough to the sideline where it was out of bounds. Almost picked off.
Now, Green threw that on his back foot.
Watch this now. Here's a guy that buys time. Nealon Green is very mobile, but look, he doesn't step into the throw. Just throws off his back heel. Almost a great throw, but a dangerous throw.
It looked like if Woods would have tried to keep his feet in bounds, he could have made that catch. It brings up 3rd and 6. And it brings the crowd up out of their seats. Up top, Kenya Crooks, incomplete. One-on-one with Joe Rowe. And good coverage by the senior out of Emporia, Virginia.
Have the feeling that things are starting to change here, that this possession could be a momentum changer. Watch the coverage now on Crooks, number 3. Here comes Rowe, who again plays him inside out, uses the sideline almost like another defensive back, forces him that way.
He never bit on that little hesitation at all. So Laird on for another punt. He stands inside his own 5. No pressure, though.
Wow.
Whoa, this is a great punt. Sending Tiki Barber back to his own 35. Still up. And now down at the 38. May have lost a couple after being hit at the 42-yard line. But a punt of 51 yards by Laird. And Barber brought it back 4.
And you see what Barber's doing? He's starting to make people miss.
And very quickly, let's go up to John Saunders in New York. John?
Coming up on Valvoline Halftime 96, all the day's scores and highlights, including the top 3 teams in the nation in action. Todd Blackledge already down, trying to pick out the highlights you want to see most. It's all coming up on Valvoline Halftime 96.
And he knows how to work that machinery, too. You see him working that in the back room? Todd busy at work. Thomas Jones, the freshman out of Appalachia, Virginia, on the carry on first down, with 4:10 and counting here in the first half. Jones is a guy who Tiki Barber has said is going to make them forget about Tiki here in Charlottesville, Virginia. I think Tiki may be wrong in saying that. I'm not sure anybody could make them forget, but as the high school state records had over 3,300 yards and 49 touchdowns his senior year of high school. 104 career touchdowns in high school at Paul Valley High School in Virginia. Sherman is down, so is the ball. And Clemson has it. Inside the 20 to the 15-yard line. Tony Planton on the recovery. And another big break for the Tigers. It was Raheem Abdullah, the redshirt freshman out of Jacksonville, Florida, who made the initial hit on Sherman, who never saw him coming from the backside.
Well, I tell you what, he looked out there. This was a 3-step drop and hit. It was a hitch and go outside, but it was great coverage. So he has to hesitate. Now here comes the backside pressure. The ball got loose. And I'm telling you something, these big guys can run. It's fun to watch Planton pick that thing up. Probably should just drop on it and make sure he's got it. But then the backside hit by Abdullah. Boom. Ball shoots loose. And now here comes Big Planton, and he picks it up.
Planton brought it back 16 yards. It's at the 17-yard line. The reverse. Woods played well by Virginia. Dropped at the 22-yard line. Dwayne Ashman read it all the way.
Third time they've tried to run it. First time it worked. Second time they got back to the line of scrimmage. This time they lose yardage.
Yeah, last time John Harris read it and turned it back in, and this time Ashman was right there.
I think you can put that play to bed. You won't see it again this afternoon.
Cavaliers trying to figure out some way to hang on to the football. You can't blame Sherman on that play. He was hit. Never saw Abdullah coming from the backside. But very uncharacteristic of this Virginia offense. A loss of 5 on the reverse. This one batted down, almost picked off. John Harris, all 6'8", 270 pounds of him, got up in the air to bat that one down.
All year, Virginia's defense has been a momentum changer. They actually take pride in that. They've turned 28 turnovers into 106 points. 39% of the scoring has come from the guys on the defensive side. So they know they need a lift, so here they come again. That ball almost picked off, and if it was picked off, he was gone. Right now, the crowd and the defense trying to change the momentum of this game for Virginia.
Third and 15, the inside give to Priester. Not going to get close to a first down. Back to the original line of scrimmage at the 17. Ashman made the tackle. Wally Rayner also was there.
This defense has stopped and stripped ball carriers all year. Virginia's defense had 11 fumble recoveries coming into this one. It's a tough defense. They've now stopped them here 3 straight plays, and they've lost a yard. Keep in mind, they've also blocked 3 kicks this year.
Matt Paget, a 35-yard field goal try. Inside the right upright. So the field goal by Paget, and it is 17-3 Tigers. That if Virginia could hold on to the football, they would be playing pretty well. I mean, they're moving the football. Tim Sherman is playing very well going to the air, but they've turned it over 3 times, 3 big times against Clemson.
Yeah, but give Clemson a lot of credit here, too, because they've taken a page out of the Cavaliers' book, and all 17 points have come off turnovers.
And a 35-yard field goal by Paget. Who now kicks off to Terrence Wilkins inside the 5. Still up to the near side, has a seam. And now it closes at the 38. And good field position for the Cavaliers. Rudy Curry, an outside linebacker, brought him down. But a return of 34 yards. And they gave up the 35-yard field goal to Paget, but some momentum maybe gained back by Virginia in that stop. And they gave up the football on the fumble, but the UVA defense, as they have throughout most of the year, not allowing Clemson to get to the end zone. On first down, Crowell the catch inside Clemson territory at the 48-yard line. His 3rd catch of the afternoon. And 1:57 and counting here until half.
This is where Tim Sherman shines. He's a very bright quarterback, very smart guy, poised guy. He's utilizing the clock. He knows how much time is on the clock. He knows when it stops. He knows what they have to do to keep it stopped and get the most yards out of this hurry-up attack.
And Virginia with 2 timeouts left here in the first. Tiki Barber hit, bounces out to the 42-yard line. Got about 4 yards after the initial hit by Mon Wilson. But the clock continues to run, 1:34 and counting. Rafael Garcia warming up. He missed a 39-yard try, but hit early in the game on a 33-yard attempt.
And he's made 28 of his last 34 field goals. Does not miss often.
3 receivers for Virginia. Sherman to Tiki Barber, trying to get out of bounds. And he does at the 33-yard line. Has a first down anyway, so the clock would have stopped. But Virginia moving the football now on this drive.
Still 1:11 to go. Still 2 timeouts left.
Now, Tiki Barber, we've talked about what he's done on the ground and the leading rusher in the ACC, but he's the #2 receiver on this Cavalier team. They throw to him a lot out of the backfield.
I think it's critical for the Cavaliers to get some points here. You have to go in at halftime with something positive happening. Down 17-3. I mean, they can make it a one-touchdown ball game in a heartbeat.
Sherman, quick drop, and now dropped at the 39. Adrian Dingle was there to bring him down, and Virginia calls a timeout. They've got one left now with 1:03 remaining here in the first half.
Smart time for Sherman to take a timeout. Obviously, you don't want to go into the clubhouse with those 2 timeouts. So you take one here with 1:03. Then you save one to get the field goal kicker on the field if, in fact, you don't get the touchdown.
He was looking for Brian Owen on that play. And one receiver to the near side, and he was covered. There was nowhere to go after the 3-step drop. And George Welsh, happy about the season. We talked to him the other day, but he was unhappy about the performance against Duke. And they've turned it over 3 times today. Had a number of penalties as well here in the first half.
Fans want to remind you to stick around at halftime as the Western Alabama High School Band.
1:03 left here in the first half. And after the timeout by Tim Sherman, his father Tom Sherman, who coaches the wide receivers, up in the press box. And a father-son, he ought to be able to manage the clock a little bit when you have a father who is a college football coach.
Yeah, Tom and Tim, T-squared. You don't like to go into those coaches meetings the next day, though, if Timmy didn't play well. But when he plays well, you come in with your chest burst.
Dinners are a little easier when you play well. Flags on the play. Tiki Barber still up now, driven out of bounds at the 16-yard line. There's a flag at the 34 on the far side.
Boy, that pass was thrown well by Sherman, too. This is a guy that put a little zip on that ball and got it out there in a hurry. And it's against Clemson.
Yeah, gain of
big
19.
play stays.
Gain of 19 on the play, and that will stand.
Watch the left side of your screen. You'll see the movement. First it was Williams. Once one guy moves, then it's a jailbreak, and everybody points at everybody else. You hope the line judge saw who moved first.
Tommy West under a little bit of pressure, perhaps, so they say. Back in Clemson, surprised to hear that, too. But he's won 3 in a row. Went to a bowl game last year, trying to go to another bowl. He's got to win 2 out of 3 of the remaining games in this season to do it. Sherman throws and throws low. Casey Crawford has already caught a pass in this game, couldn't hang on.
You know, we talked about the inconsistency before the game started. I mean, he threw a good pass to the left side. Now he comes back in what you would think be a strong side, the right side. He doesn't have to change it all, just step into it, and underthrows his tight end who's wide open. I mean, you can't figure that out. How does that inconsistency happen? You throw it up and you put it between the 8 and the 6. You've got another first down and you're down near the goal line.
Now Sherman 10 out of 17 for 208 yards here in the first half. But he's had 2 or 3 that he has not thrown well. Couple to Tiki Barber. Barber fighting his way inside the 15. Down to the 14, 44 and counting. They've got 1 timeout. Are they going to burn it?
Well, they went with the draw there. They still have plenty of time with 40 seconds left, but they're just milling around. Tim Sherman's got to get him up to the line of scrimmage and get a play called. He's wasting too much time here.
And you can't down it. It's 3rd and 9 right now. And Clemson has taken a timeout.
Boy, what a tough day for that guy, Tiki Barber.
It has been. I mean, we mentioned the record, trying to rush for over 100 yards in 9 straight regular season games. That would be an ACC record. He's only got 37 right now.
You know, I'm going to go out and say he's going to get it today. I mean, you have that feeling that Tiki Barber can just break at any time. They have kept him bottled up. They've gone with 8- and 9-man fronts and forced Tim Sherman to throw. And they've done a nice job keeping Barber under control. But if Virginia scores here, then a lot changes. And game plans and adjustments take place at halftime. And I would suspect that he's going to get his 100 yards today.
Well, maybe it's overused, but momentum is certainly a part of this game. And if you're Virginia and you score here going to the locker room, you go to the locker room with a different outlook. And if you're Clemson and you get a stop and you're up 17-3, that's huge. As is this play. 3rd and 9 from the 15. Out of the shotgun, Sherman with over 200 yards in the air already in this one. Looking to the near side. Hit as he threw. Crowell underthrown. He can't get there, and it's because of the pressure on Tim Sherman. Trevor Price hit him just as he threw the football.
That play was felt all the way up here in the stands. I mean, there is a sense of urgency with the crowd here. They can feel that Virginia's having a tough day. Now, these two teams fighting for bowls, and again, this ball is thrown too far outside and short and very difficult for Crowell to get there. You put that ball somewhere where Crowell's got a shot, and I guarantee you he'll make the catch.
Trevor Price had a little bit to do with that, though. The pressure on Sherman, and he was hit right as he unleashed that ball. 32-yard attempt by Rafael Garcia. Left-footed kicker, plenty of leg, and through the upright. So he's 2 for 3 on the afternoon. And the Cavaliers at least get 3 on the board. And maybe a moral victory, though, for the Tiger defense.
Well, yes, but you also want those points if you're Virginia going into halftime. I mean,
absolutely.
The coaches now can say, all right, look, we had a good drive. We got it down there. We scored our points. Now let's start to get things in gear. Let's put our game plan in. We're going to make some adjustments. Here's what they're doing. They're jamming 9 guys up, 8 guys up at the line of scrimmage. They're going to adjust to that.
And the wind continues as the temperature continues to drop. It is officially football weather here in Charlottesville. Lights have been on for the past hour or so. And the front that came through yesterday dumped so much rain on this field.
Mr. Jefferson's University looks terrific. These fans love football. You've got everything you could ask for here today. 2 teams fighting for bowl games, and has not been the greatest year for Clemson, although now the Tigers have won 3 in a row and trying to upset the Cavaliers. And for Virginia, it's been a terrific year.
The battle for 3rd place in the ACC, a Peach Bowl berth. And the CarQuest Bowl goes to number 4. Number 4 finisher of this league. Of course, both of these teams do have a shot at 2nd place, but Virginia's much more realistic, as they have North Carolina coming to town next week. A win here, a win over North Carolina would get them most likely in the Gator Bowl. Clemson would need North Carolina to lose to Virginia and to Duke in the final game of the season to have a shot at 2nd place. Garcia's kick 1 yard deep. No time off the clock. They'll bring it out to the 20. Sam Zanders caught it and went to one knee.
You know, we came into this booth today and we felt that Clemson was going to play a pretty good ball game, and it is not surprising because Clemson has beaten a top 20 Virginia team 2 of the last 4 years, and they've all been very close games, but Clemson has had great success.
It's amazing when you look at where they started the season. They lost 45-0 to the Heels, and everyone was ready to ride Tommy West out of town. And they win over Furman, then they lose to Missouri. That didn't quiet the critics at all, as Elon Green goes to one knee, 16 seconds, and counting. That'll be the last play of the half. But well, they're on a roll right now.
And Terry, don't forget everything that took place for Clemson before the season began, with all the arrests and charges and the alleged charges. I mean, it was tough.
So it's 17-6. The Tigers with the lead. Valvoline halftime 96 comes up next. The Tigers on top.